In the moment you sit in silence, when your breath slows and your mind ceases to be restless, a truth emerges like light piercing through mist. The greatest key of your life has never been out there. It lies within you. Not in ancient books hidden in libraries, not in the secrets of laboratories, but in the stillness where the mind touches the deepest part of itself. There an invisible door exists, and behind it rests the greatest power you have ever been given, the subconscious. I call it a key because when you learn to turn it in the right direction, your entire life will open in unexpected ways. And you will realize that youth, vitality, and freshness are not things stolen by time, but streams of energy waiting for you to awaken them. People often think youth passes like a shadow across the wall, appearing and then disappearing. But that is only an illusion society has planted in your mind since childhood. You have been told over and over again that humans must grow old, that the body inevitably weakens with years, that no one escapes the harsh law of aging. But I ask you, who carved out that law? Was it nature that bound you to decay? Or was it the thoughts you repeated daily that built those invisible chains? The truth lies here. Your body is the most faithful mirror of your mind. Every belief, every thought, every emotion sewn into it leaves an imprint on every cell, every organ, every heartbeat. Think you are old, and instantly you send that command into your blood, into your skin, into your nerves. Think you are young, and you grant your body another command, the command of regeneration, and the subconscious, like a loyal servant, never argues, it only obeys. When you understand this, the door is already open. The key lies in whether you dare to speak to your body the words of life, of renewal, of youth. Imagine each night before sleep you whisper to every cell that it is glowing, that it is overflowing with energy, that every fiber, every vein is being restored within the perfect blueprint. You do not need to wait for a miracle, for the miracle is happening the moment you sow a new seed. The subconscious never sleeps. It receives and acts. And the next morning your eyes are clearer, your heartbeat steadier, your mind lighter. This is not coincidence, but the direct result of the key you have used. There is an eternal source of energy flowing beneath your everyday consciousness, like an underground spring endlessly running beneath a barren desert. Most people never dig deep enough to find it. They chase after medicine, cosmetics, and external solutions, but the secret has never changed. Within you lies a stream that never runs dry. It knows nothing of aging. It does not heed the judgments of the calendar. It waits only for a signal, an affirmation to rise and restore every cell. The key is not in possessing a perfect body already made, but in knowing how to awaken the subconscious and allow it to function. You have heard the saying that time is youth's greatest enemy, but time is truly only a flow, a rhythm. It carries no intention to destroy you. It is your thoughts that turn time into an enemy. When you repeat phrases such as, "I am getting old," "My body can't take it anymore," everything declines with age. You are unknowingly signing a contract with the subconscious, and it enforces that contract with wrinkles on your skin, with aching joints, with endless fatigue. Yet you can tear up that contract. Imagine a new agreement where every word is written in belief. Every day I am renewed, my body listens to the call of vitality, my youth is not lost, it is being awakened again. The subconscious will take it and transform it into reality. There are people who even at 80 have sparkling eyes, brisk steps, and a smile full of passion. And there are others who at 30 are hunched, their eyes lifeless, their spirit worn out. The difference does not lie in age, but in the commands they send to themselves each day. One chooses affirmations of life, the other chooses curses of old age. And the subconscious, like a faithful printer, only prints what is sent to it. How do you wish to see yourself in the mirror? Begin with the words you whisper in your mind. See your body as a vast field. Each thought is a seed. Sow rotten seeds and you harvest weeds. Sow youthful seeds and you reap golden crops. No miracle is greater than the law of sowing and reaping within the subconscious. Your body always listens, always records. Even in sleep it tirelessly works to reflect what you have planted during the day. And so youth is not a lost memory, but a harvest you can choose to plant again at any moment. Remember that you are not merely a body of flesh and bone. You are an energy field, a vibrating melody. When the tone you emit is joy, the body dances with youthfulness. When the tone is fear, the body instantly becomes heavy and stagnant. And when the tone is a powerful affirmation of vitality, the entire nervous, endocrine, and immune systems unite to bring forth renewal. You may ask, is that real? Just observe yourself. Each time you are happy, you feel stronger. Each time you are sad, your body weakens. That is undeniable proof that the body is only the reflection of the mind. Do not look for the key in anyone else's hand. It rests in the palm of your own. When you utter an affirmation, when you paint in your mind the image of a renewed body, you are already turning that key in the lock. The door opens not by brute strength, but by persistence, by faith, by repetition, like water dripping steadily onto stone. 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, until the subconscious no longer distinguishes between imagination and reality. It only knows to obey. And at that moment your body changes. The greatness here is that no one can stop you. Not time, not age, not even genetics. Only you decide which way the key will turn. If you choose to open the door of decline, the subconscious will faithfully serve that. But if you choose to open the door of vitality, then an infinite treasure will pour forth. So when I speak of the key, it is not a vague symbol. It is the concrete power contained in every word you speak, every image you envision, every belief you hold. It is the key that can turn each night's sleep into a ritual of renewal, each morning into a new birth. And with genuine belief, with repetition, you will witness your body listening, your soul rising, your youth returning like a river that never ceases to flow. Do not doubt that power. Open your eyes to the signs around you, wounds that heal themselves, cells that constantly regenerate blood that has flowed ceaselessly since you were born. The body has never stopped renewing. Only your mind has forced it to pause, and from today you can command it to start again. The key rests in your hand, and when turned in the right direction, the entire door of life opens to reveal this truth. Youth has never been lost. It has only been waiting for you to call its name. Youth is not a number printed on a birth certificate. It is not the shape of the body, nor the blackness of hair, nor the smoothness of skin. Youth is a vibration, a frequency, a state of consciousness that your soul can choose at any moment. When you take a deep breath and feel the air filling your chest, that is the moment youth is present. When you can still be moved by a beautiful scene, when your heart still trembles with love, when you are still willing to learn and explore, you are living in eternal youth. On the other hand, when the soul becomes rigid, when you close yourself off from joy, when you believe that all freshness belongs to the past, then even if your body is still young, you are already old. Ask yourself, how old are you in your soul? Do not rush to answer with a calendar age, but listen to the whisper within. You may be past 40, yet feel your heart stirring like you are 20. Or you may be only 25, but already feel heavy, weary, as if you had lived a century. There lies the revelation. Youth is a state of consciousness, an expanded soul, not an identity card. And this truth, if you grasp it, can change the entire course of your life. There is a strange paradox. Human beings can remember in detail every wrinkle, every number of age, every sign of weakness, yet forget that every single cell in the body constantly regenerates. You are no longer the person of 5 years ago, not even of 1 year ago, because most of your cells have already been renewed. But if the mind still holds the old belief, repeating over and over the verdict, "I am getting old," then the body has no choice but to obey. The subconscious is a loyal servant. It will print upon the blood, upon the skin, upon the bones, the exact command you give. And here youth becomes a choice. Do you dare to choose it right now? Imagine a moment in your life when you felt completely alive. Perhaps it was the day you accomplished a challenge that once seemed impossible, or simply a morning you awoke full of excitement, your heart beating fast, your eyes shining with desire. Do you still remember that feeling? That sense as if the whole universe were giving you strength, as if every cell were rejoicing in perfect rhythm. That is youth, not dependent on time, but on the mood you cultivate and the belief you sow. I want to ask you something, and your answer will reveal much. Are you truly ready to choose youth starting today? If the answer in your heart is yes, show me by leaving a message. Just write "I am ready," or even simply the number 1. Why do I ask this of you? Because the moment you express it, you are not only affirming it to me, but also affirming it to your own subconscious that you have chosen a new direction. It is no longer theory passing through your ears, but a small yet powerful action, a mark that the subconscious will record. And I will know I am not speaking into emptiness, that you are here listening and sharing this journey. That to me is profoundly precious. Thank you truly with gratitude. The youth of the soul does not come from resisting time. It comes from the ability to release false beliefs and open yourself to a new definition. When you believe that each day is a beginning, that each morning is a rebirth, then youth will walk with you. Try stepping outside in the early morning, watching the sunlight spread across the sky, and instead of saying "another day has passed," say "a new life has begun." That difference is not small. It changes the way your heart beats, the way your blood circulates, the way your nerves respond. It changes the entire field of energy around you, and from a single thought, the whole body is lifted. Some may think youth is a gift stolen by time, but I tell you, no one can take away your youth except you. When you nurture the belief that youth still exists, you are opening a channel of communication with the soul, and the soul will send signals of restoration to every cell. The body obeys the mind, the soul guides the consciousness. This is a secret connection, yet it is the very key that has existed since the beginning of time. If you still doubt, observe those who live fully in joy. They may have lived through many decades, yet their eyes still shine, their laughter still rings, their steps remain quick. That is proof that youth is not a biological matter, but a vibration of the soul. And conversely, there are those who are young in age but old in mind. They live in complaint, in belief in limits, and the body only reflects those commands. So from this moment I want you to choose another state. Do not wait for the body to change before you believe. Believe first and the body will follow. Plant an affirmation. My youth is eternal. My soul is singing, my mind is expanding, and my body follows that song. Say it as if it were an undeniable truth. Repeat it with faith. And when you do, you are placing a mark upon the subconscious, a new command for the body to obey. Youth does not vanish. It only waits to be awakened. It is a hidden spring in the mind, a flame in the soul, and you are the one holding the match. You can choose to light it today. Just one decision, just one affirmation, just one small comment with the words "I am ready" or the number 1. That is not only a sign of your presence here, but also a promise to yourself that from this very moment you have chosen to live again, to be young again, to expand your soul instead of closing it. I know you are here. I feel your presence. And that very presence, that very desire for change makes this story come alive. It is no longer words falling into emptiness, but a resonating heartbeat between you and me. And from the depths, I am grateful for that. Are you ready? If you are, leave your sign. For youth begins with a decision, and that decision is the first step on the journey back to the infinite energy of the soul. And from this moment on, each day will no longer be a torn old page, but a new book filled with vitality, brightness, and eternity. Deep within each person exists an endless current, a spring that never runs dry, always silently flowing to nourish both body and soul. This is not a new discovery of science, nor is it an exaggerated myth. It is the truth present since the moment you began your first spark of life in your mother's womb, and continuing without pause since the first beat of your heart. This current of life has never stopped. Only your awareness has allowed it to be obscured. When you understand that within you flows an infinite source of life, you will no longer see aging as a death sentence, but as a rhythm to be harmonized with in order to be reborn. Observe your body with clarity. Blood still circulates every second. Skin still regenerates every day. The immune system still tirelessly protects you from countless invisible threats. You do not need to command your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, or billions of cells to work in perfect order. There is an intelligence silently coordinating it all, and that intelligence is the gateway to the infinite source of life. It does not age with the passing years. It does not tire as you mistakenly believe. It continues to create, to pour out regenerative power, so long as you do not block it with limiting beliefs. That source of life is like an underground current running beneath layers of earth. You may live an entire lifetime unaware of it, still thirsty in the desert of fatigue and aging simply because you never dug deep enough to reach it. But when you open it, when you allow it to flow, your whole body transforms. The skin glows, the eyes ignite with fire, the rhythm of heart and breath becomes harmonious. You no longer feel as though you are approaching the end of the road, but as though you have just begun a new journey. What is astonishing is that this current of life does not belong only to the physical body. It is an energy field encompassing body, mind, and soul. When your spirit falls into despair, the current is suppressed, flowing weakly, leaving the body gradually exhausted. But when you live with faith and love, that current surges forth, transmitting restorative energy into every cell. This is why positive emotions can heal more swiftly than any medicine. It is not the medicine that changes the body, but the release of the inner life force doing its work. You have seen wounds heal themselves without intervention. You have seen the body recover after illness, sometimes beyond the predictions of medicine. All of this is evidence of that silent power. Every cell is like a diligent worker, but behind them stands an invisible architect, the infinite source of life, the creative intelligence at work. And this architect is not limited by age, only by the beliefs you impress upon it. In the universe, nothing stands still. Everything exists in the rhythm of renewal. Leaves fall so that new buds may sprout. A river flows, yet never runs dry. The sun sets only for dawn to return. Regeneration is the unchanging law. Human beings are also subject to this law. Yet instead of harmonizing with it, many resist it with rigid beliefs that the body must wither, that energy must be depleted, that youth is only a memory. They implant a false program into the subconscious, and the body merely follows. While in truth the body was designed to forever renew itself, the source of life within is like the sap of a tree. No matter the storms, no matter the winter snow, as long as the sap flows, the tree stands strong, sprouting again when spring arrives. Human beings are the same. You may endure fatigue, hardships, and loss, but if the inner life force continues to flow, you can still rise and be reborn. The issue does not lie in age, but in whether you allow the current to circulate or let it be restrained by negative thoughts. There are those who, after years of illness, change dramatically the moment they rediscover a reason to live, to love, to contribute. This is not a mystical miracle, but the infinite source of life rising when given purpose. When the soul is lit, the body immediately receives a new command. For the body is never independent, it is only the reflection of the deeper energy. You must understand that within you exists a primordial perfect design, a sacred blueprint never damaged by time. Every system, every organ can be restored to that blueprint when the source of life is awakened. When you connect with it, you do not have to force your body to change, for regeneration occurs naturally like flowers blooming when spring arrives. Your power does not come from compulsion, but from harmonizing with the eternal flow that has always been. The infinite source of life within knows nothing of aging. It does not care about the dates on a calendar. It listens only to your language, the beliefs, the images, the emotions you repeat daily. If you send it messages of decline, it contracts, flowing weakly. If you send it messages of renewal, it surges like a flood. You have the power to choose which language to speak to yourself. And that choice is never too late, no matter your age. Try listening to the heartbeat in your chest right now. Each beat is not merely a biological movement, but an affirmation that the source of life is still at work. Your existence itself proves that the current continues to flow. The moment you cooperate with it, it transforms into limitless power of renewal. Do not mistake your energy as depleted. In truth, you have only forgotten how to open the door. The source of life has never disappeared. It is waiting for your signal to surge forth again. Body, mind, and soul are but different layers of a single current of life. When you learn to nurture positive thoughts, to nurture love and faith, you are clearing the way for that current to flow without obstruction. And when it flows, youth, health, and clarity become natural expressions requiring no struggle. The infinite source of life within human beings is a simple truth, yet one few dare to believe. For to believe in it means taking responsibility for every thought, every belief you cultivate. But that very responsibility is freedom. Freedom to choose youth or age, strength or weakness, blossoming or withering. And once you know, you will no longer fear time, for you have touched the current that flows beyond all limits. For centuries, humanity has lived under the shadow of one assumption, that aging is inevitable, that decline is an inescapable fate. Since childhood, you have heard the same phrases repeated like dark prophecies. Sooner or later, you'll grow weak. Age spares no one. Everything fades with time. These words gradually became commands etched deep into the subconscious, and the body had no choice but to obey. But the truth is otherwise. The truth is that aging comes not primarily from biology, but from the beliefs people plant within themselves. When you are young, you are taught to fear even the smallest signs of time. A grey hair, a wrinkle, a fleeting pain are immediately labeled. This is the beginning of old age. And you believe it, and that very belief triggers a chain reaction in the body. The subconscious does not distinguish true from false, real from imagined. It only records the message. The body is aging. And so each cell begins to carry the burden you have imposed upon it. You are not only carrying a body, you are carrying a program of decline you yourself have written. There are those who at 30 feel as weary as if they were 60 because their minds are filled with fear of deterioration. In contrast, there are those who at 80 remain vigorous because they have never accepted old age as a sentence. So what determines it? Not the number of years, but belief. It is false belief that has turned the natural changes of the body into collapse. Without being haunted by age, you would see that the body is simply moving through cycles of renewal. But because you equate them with decay, you unwittingly block the process of regeneration. One of the most common false beliefs is that the body is like an old machine. But the body is not a car that has been used for decades, with a built-in expiration date like an object. The body is a living system, constantly renewing each cell, each tissue, each organ. If you nurture a positive image, the body will continue to rejuvenate ceaselessly. But if you believe it must break down, then that very belief becomes the command that makes the body truly break down. Another false belief is that genetics determines everything. People often look at their parents and grandparents and are certain they too will grow old and ill in the same way. But genetics only gives you potentials, not destiny. What truly shapes your future are the signals you send to your subconscious each day. If you repeat in your mind the image of a healthy body full of vitality, the subconscious will choose that scenario instead of replaying what happened in your lineage. You are not a victim of the past. You are the architect of the present. Some also believe that time is an unavoidable destroyer. But think carefully, time is only a series of successive moments. It carries no hammer to smash your body. It is the belief that the older I get, the worse it becomes, that is the invisible blade, gradually cutting away your vitality. If you see time as an enemy, you live in endless war. But if you see time as rhythm, as flow, you will learn to use it for renewal rather than destruction. Each passing year, instead of thinking you are losing strength, you can think of yourself as accumulating wisdom while allowing your body to continue to renew. Time has no power to decide your youth unless you give it that power. There is another dangerous belief: illness is unavoidable with age. Many, upon reaching a certain milestone, begin to accept sickness as normal. They do not realize that this very attitude of resignation is an invitation for illness to enter. The subconscious hears every word you whisper to yourself, and it begins to turn those words into reality. Conversely, if you hold the image of a healthy, energetic body in your mind, your immune system will grow stronger, your capacity to recover will be faster. False belief has caused millions to hand over their power to disease, while the truth is that power has never been lost. These false beliefs not only harm the body, they also bind the soul. For when you believe aging is unavoidable, you stop dreaming, stop exploring, stop living with eagerness. You confine your life to a narrow room and refuse to step outside. But if you know the truth that aging is not destiny, you will fling that door wide open and let your soul soar once again. The infinite source of life still flows within you, but false beliefs are like boulders blocking the river. If you continue to repeat words of complaint, the current is dammed and the water becomes stagnant. But if you remove those stones one by one, the belief that time is an enemy, that genetics is fate, that disease is inevitable, you will see the current surge again. And when it flows, youth returns with it. In truth, aging is not what is frightening. What is frightening is the false belief that you are powerless before it. Once you realize the truth, you reclaim the power that has been stolen by words repeated from generation to generation. You are not a victim of age. You are only a victim of thoughts planted and never questioned. And now is the time to awaken, to look directly at them, to recognize they are nothing but illusions. When you cast away false beliefs, you not only save your body from decline, but you also expand your soul to live a new life. You are no longer haunted by every wrinkle or every number on a piece of paper. You begin to live according to the rhythm of the eternal current. And from that moment, youth is no longer a memory but a presence, a light you carry in every step, in every breath, in every moment you are alive. Hidden deep within every human being is a primordial image, a flawless design imprinted from the very moment life began. It is not an image imposed by society, not the distorted mirror you see each day with anxious thoughts of aging, nor the reflection of false beliefs accumulated in the mind. That image is pure, immutable, untouched by the erosion of years. It is the sacred blueprint, an intact replica from the creative intelligence that gave birth to all existence. Your body, no matter how many ups and downs it endures, always carries this design within it like an eternal code. Every cell, every vein, every nerve fiber has been built upon this perfect template. You may blur it with negative beliefs, with fear, with agreement to decline, but you cannot erase it. It remains waiting for you to remember and awaken it. Like an immortal piece of music already composed, it only takes a single note to bring forth its pure melody again. You do not need to create perfection from scratch. You only need to restore your connection to the design that has always been there. In daily life, you are surrounded by countless distorted images. Advertisements insist only new products can make you young again. Society repeats endlessly that age equals weakness. Even when you look in the mirror, you may see reflections of fatigue and worry rather than the pure light within. But do not mistake the outer mirror for truth. The mirror only reflects the temporary state of your mind, not the eternal blueprint. The truth is that you carry within you a complete, healthy, vibrant image, always waiting to be called forth. Imagine your body as a great building. After many years, the paint on the outside may peel cracks, may appear dust, may cover it. But the foundation remains firm, the original design intact. When the restorer knows to return to the original blueprint, he will not make temporary repairs, but will rebuild according to the flawless structure that already exists. Your subconscious is that restorer. When you provide it with the correct image, the image of the sacred blueprint, it immediately begins restoring the body without hesitation. The body does not think independently. It only reflects the image you hold in the depths of your mind. If you hold the image of weakness, the body will become weak. If you hold the image of renewal, the body will regenerate. If you hold the image of wholeness, the body will gradually return to balance. This does not happen through force, but because the body always follows the pattern imprinted in the subconscious, and that blueprint is always perfect, untouched by time or illness. Modern science has begun to touch these truths in its studies of cellular memory, self-regeneration, and the power of mental imagery. But long ago, the truth was already present. The body listens to the inner image far more than to any external influence. You may take dozens of medicines, but if within you is still etched the image of a declining body, their effect will only be temporary. Conversely, if you engrave the image of a healthy body, the source of life will gradually activate the